So in the last few episodes, we've seen just how easy it is to grow your own food indoors using the Kratky method, passive hydroponics. But is there an even easier way? Time to find out on Look Ma, No Soil. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Boss. I'm a gardener and a lover of all things spicy. This is a series teaching you how to grow your own food indoors hydroponically. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I really do suggest you go back and start at the beginning. I'll leave a link below. Today, we're going to look at an even easier method, I think, than passive or Kratky method hydroponics on how you can grow food indoors with almost no effort. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look at our plants and see how they're doing. It's been about 8 days since we last looked at them, and the growth has been phenomenal.
All right, you can see the lettuce has exploded. This stuff is growing crazy fast. So, ready to actually start probably picking off some of those outer leaves. 8 days since you last saw it, that's not a bad change, right? Tomato is doing good. Looks like we're actually probably going to start to see some flowers here in the next few days. Again, this is a micro dwarf, so we expect it to be nice and small like this. And the pepper is starting to put on some good growth finally. You can see it looks pretty happy. And we'll check back on those again next time.
All right, so there you have it. Our plants are doing great. The pepper is, of course, growing the slowest, but that's what we expect. The tomatoes really starting to take off. I think we're going to see flowers, and pretty soon we're going to see little baby tomatoes starting to grow. The lettuce looks great. I did actually, after filming that, take that out and move it to another part of my basement. It's actually sitting right in front of a window here in January in Colorado to help bring that temperature down. My basement stays pretty warm because it's underground, and I got a lot of grow lights. So that helps add some heat to the basement. But today we're going to talk about the other way that I love to grow hydroponically indoors, and it's almost like cheating. This is something that you can do with basically one purchase. You don't have to build your own containers. You don't have to mix your own nutrient solution. I'm talking about the Aerogarden. So many of you may have seen the Aerogarden before, whether it was, on TV or on the internet. Maybe you got one as a gift one time, right? And you grew out the seed kit that it came with, and then you never used it again. That happens a lot, believe it or not. Check Craigslist, you'll see. Aerogardens are commercially available, widely available. You can get them darn near anywhere in the United States, from Walmart to Lowe's to Amazon to Kohl's. They're really cool plant-growing magic machines. I don't know what else to say. So the Aerogarden uses hydroponics. It also uses a active style hydroponic. So this is different than what we've been doing in this series. There is a pump in the reservoir here that fills up in this lid at the top. And then each one of these spots here, I have some of them covered up. Each one of these spots can hold a plant, and the lid will disperse the pumped nutrient solution down over the roots of that plant. And those roots then go and sit in the container of nutrient solution as well. So you get a little bit of that direct feed from the roots being in the container, and you get the advantage of having the nutrient solution run down over the roots to keep them moist and have a good exchange of oxygen. These are just covers that a friend 3D printed for me that if you're not using every hole, if you only have one or two plants in here, good to keep the algae out. We've talked about algae before. It's your nemesis for hydroponics. Aerogardens are awesome for really a couple reasons. They're kind of idiot-proof, and they do an amazing job growing plants. So if you buy an Aerogarden, it usually comes with a set of pre-filled seed pods that look something like this. This one's actually been used, and I've cut the bottom open, so it's not perfect. But really what you're going to get is a sponge, they call it, which is, I think, compressed peat with a seed already embedded in it. You're going to get this little plastic tray that sits down into the slot here. And they give you these labels that you can put on the top to help block out that light. Again, algae prevention. And it also will give you a place to write what's in there, right? So you can label your plant. These are great. The Aerogarden official seed pods work awesome. I have grown everything from herbs to tomatoes using those. However, not the most economical way to go. So I've actually found you can buy direct from Aerogarden or on Amazon refill baskets. So these are just empty baskets. They fit directly into your Aerogarden. any model. There are several different sizes of Aerogarden. This one here happens to be called an Aerogarden Harvest. It has 6 openings, so you can grow 6 plants at once, and the light extends up to 12 inches. So it's not a huge grow space. But you can also buy the refill sponges. So I can get a 50 pack of sponges and a 50 pack of baskets, significantly less expensive than if I were to buy 50 seed pod kits, right? All you do is you put your sponges in the basket. You will then put these in the Aerogarden to soak up water and get that sponge really wet. And then you can plant whatever seeds you want directly in there. The other thing that the Aerogarden comes with and you'll want to keep around are these little humidity domes. So these will go over your basket just like that when it's sitting in your Aerogarden. That's for starting seeds only. Once your seeds have sprouted, you take this off, clean it, and set it aside for your next grow. Again, Aerogardens are magic. They grow plants faster than any other method I've tried. I love to start plants here, so while there's 6 holes here, I would never try to grow 6 adult, say, peppers or tomatoes or other demanding vegetables. It would even be a stretch to get 6 heads of lettuce in here just because they're so close to each other. It works great with things like dill and thyme and basil and things that you can kind of trim and keep in control. But when I grow peppers in an Aerogarden, it's usually only 1 per Aerogarden that I let go to maturity, and that takes a lot of pruning to keep it under this light canopy. But when I'm starting seeds, I will fill all 6 of these holes, and then I will get young sprouts very fast. They'll grow healthily. This light, well, it's only, I think, 30 or 35 watts. It does an amazing job if you keep it at its lowest setting without touching the tops of your plants. So keep it an inch, maybe at most, above your plants. They do great. So what I'll often do is take these, start my seeds, and once I have maybe 5 or 6 sets of leaves, and they're very compact because you get that intense light, then I'll transplant this to either a Kratky hydroponic setup or even to soil in the spring. So very, very versatile. Let's take a look. I have a plant growing over here in one of my other Aerogardens because I have more than one. This other one I have is also a Harvest model 6 pod. It's just a slightly different layout, same light height. Let's go take a look. So you can see here, this other Aerogarden, I have a pepper growing. This was planted 43 days ago. The seed took almost 2 full weeks to germinate. So in reality, we're looking at about 30 days of growth since the seed sprouted. And that's not bad at all, right? This is a Hangzhou space pepper number 1, also known as Corona. And I am very happy with this. You can see I'm just using cardboard in this case to prevent algae growth. You can also see this Aerogarden's been around for a few years. I have very hard water, so there's some nasty mineral deposits. I will clean those up after this grow using vinegar. That should take care of it. So there you have it. Super easy to grow in the Aerogarden. I highly recommend keeping your eye out for sales. You can get these for a really good price on sales. There's also the Bounty model, which is a little bit bigger. I believe that's a 9 pod, but the light goes up to 24 inches, so you can grow a much bigger plant there. I think that's probably going to be my next investment. And then if you want to go really big, they have the Farm model, which comes in, I think, 12 and 24 pod versions. And those lights go maybe 36 inches or taller. They're large grow units, so not necessarily something you can just tuck away on a shelf in the corner like I do with my Aerogardens. I still won't call this my favorite method of growing. Passive hydroponics with Kratky method is absolutely my favorite way to grow because it's much more scalable. You can get a lot more going for a lot less money. Aerogardens cost money. These cost money. You'll also use the Aerogarden nutrients. I didn't mention that, but you will be feeding this their own special brand of nutrients. You can really use any hydroponic nutrient, though. I do like the Aerogarden brand nutrient, so I buy it in the 32-ounce containers. It takes 7 milliliters per refill on this guy to keep it happy. Not too bad. But the Kratky passive hydroponic method is just a lot more scalable. I can grow a big plant because I can use a bigger reservoir than this. I can raise my light inside a grow tent or on a shelf and not have to worry about being limited by the height of the garden itself. Aerogardens are great. I absolutely recommend, like I said, everybody go look for one, keep an eye out for a sale, and start playing with it. Great way to start seeds, great way to grow plants to maturity if you keep your expectations realistic. And it takes almost no effort. So it's perfect for a guy like me. That's it for this episode. When we come back next time, it might be a 2-week break in between episodes because I want to let that lettuce fully form up By then it should be ready to harvest, and we'll take a taste test, and then we'll wrap up this whole series on how to grow passively. I'll come back later as we start new episodes and see how the tomato and the pepper did as well, but those just take too long. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. I will be back with more content very shortly. We have all kinds of other stuff on this channel too, about hot peppers, about hot products, taste testing hot sauces, making hot sauces, and other great things. So leave a comment below if there's something else you'd like to learn. We will see you next time. Peace.